Always. As you can see, I am not DL. Unfortunately, DL is in an area that was hit by tornadoes last night. So there is no cell service. Currently, she is fine. They are all fine. However, it's going to be bad weather again tonight. So everyone say a quick, like, good vibes toward them for making it home. I also don't have like a little stuffed animal like she does, but I have an ice cream cone and it goes along with the name of the dang show. So I grabbed it. It makes sense to me. Because DL isn't in here, we have our special guest co-host, Willow. Hello, Willow.
How's it going?
Oh, yeah, I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
Willow, if you do not know, is from one of our sister shows. She is one of the hosts, or like, I don't know, the host, I don't know, one of the hosts of Cryptid Crunch, which is a fun sister show where they go over, you know, cryptids, Bigfoot, those things.
Tongue in cheek, never stays on topic.
That would be why you're our sister show. And while we're talking about on topic, let's go ahead and do this. Warning: this show may contain strong language or disturbing topics, which may be unsuitable for children, and unusual humor, which may be unsuitable for adults. All right, so we do have a little bit of pre-show chatter. I'm going to tell you about this fun event we went to 2 nights ago. It was the May Ball, and so everything was like ball fairy themed. They had the different fairy courts there, and so Ice Cream Queens got to come in. DL was the MC of the event. We got to hand out crowns to the different people. We do have a couple photos here to pop up. If there we go, that is me and Joey the roadie. They had me come in as Medusa, and so that was really fun. We also have a few. Thank you. I hand sewed that stuff. Here is our group that we had with us: me, DL, some very close family friends. Keep going. All right, this wonderful shot of DL here. She was like the dark winged fairy, and this is just absolutely gorgeous with this sparkly red sequined dress. She looks so devilish. I think that was all I sent in. I don't remember if I sent any more. Oh yeah. Ooh. The big group photo. So we have a lot of our cosplay family up in this photo with us. Angel of Azrath. We have I don't know her online name. I know her real name, and I don't know if she says it. So I'm just going to stop there and say that's Con family, people. And yeah, it was a real fun time. It was hot. It was really warm. Oh, there's me and Joey again with a great cleavage shot. Yeah.
I love your eyes in that picture, by the way.
Thank you. I ordered special contacts that were supposed to like look like stone. And the first time I cosplayed this specific one, they didn't come in time, and I was so mad. So when they were like, "Hey, will you wear your Medusa again?" and I had the contacts, I was like, "Yes." All right. So
are cosplays ever really finished though?
No. We had the Mayball going, and I turned to Joey and I was like, "Dude, we should have come as Cosmo and Wanda."
Next year.
Next year. I want to do it. So yeah, yay pre-show chatter. I got that out of the way, done fast. I want to bring in our guests because we have such an interesting guest tonight. Can we? Hey,
hello. Speaking of someone with stunning eyes,
right? All right, so everyone, this is our guest of the evening. I'm going to have him do his own introduction. So please tell us, who are you? Where are you from? How did you end up here?
First of all, I am the Memphis-made monster, Walker XIII. I was born and raised on the cruel streets of Memphis, Tennessee. Made me the man that I am today. Pro wrestler, haunt actor, music producer. I try to dabble in a little bit of everything, really. I don't know if it's just because of, the ADD keeps me hyper-focused on something, or I don't know. I just always looking for new things to get into.
So, random question. Are you a Gemini? Because same.
No, I'm a Capricorn.
That also makes sense.
My husband's a Capricorn. I'm a Libra, so like the ADHD thing is just like Very,
crazy.
very prevalent in this house.
All right, so you said that you are a pro wrestler. Let's get some like
Yes.
wrestling questions out in the open here. Out in the open, like it's secret. You grew up a fan of wrestling. Was it specifically like Memphis wrestling? Was it the big over global wrestling? Like, what was the one that drew you in?
It was mostly like WWF in the late '90s, early 2000s. They called that the Attitude Era. It's when everything kind of shifted from these cartoonish characters to more like realistic um, people. Hello.
I think we have DL for a
Hello.
minute.
Yeah,
He's here.
I'm here.
I have a slight signal. It's not connecting. So I just wanted to jump in and say hello. Why I have a minute and it's not connecting. I'm not staying connected, so I'm about to jump out.
Okay. Thank you for popping in.
We
Yes.
love you.
Hello. Good to see you.
All right, so I'm going to continue on. You were in the middle of saying you were a fan of just kind of the overall arc. And what year was that again?
It was the earliest I remember was 1999. I was too young to know what it was back then, but I had a VHS tape of a pay-per-view that I watched over and over again.
Nice.
I always loved The Undertaker. He was my all-time favorite. He's the reason why I became a wrestler.
That was my
this
next
guy's
question.
Sorry, I didn't mean to jump ahead.
No, you're going. You're good. You're interviewing great. I don't even have to ask the questions. All right, so Undertaker, I could see that with being like the into the haunt and the creepy things. I could see Undertaker being a big favorite there. That's actually one of the very few wrestlers I know the name of. So all right, so I have a question here that is kind of about wrestling. And I was told not to ask this question, but I'm going to anyway. So to me, I'm not a sports person. So I call all of it sports ball. I don't understand it. You should have seen the football one we did for what's the big football party everyone goes woohoo for?
The Super Bowl.
The Super Bowl.
We did a Super Bowl episode, and that's what I sounded like the entire episode, not knowing a dang thing coming out of my mouth. But what I do remember, because I had neighbors growing up who were like super into wrestling, and I remember them talking about it like it was like days of our lives, like the stories, and like, no, this person's bad now, and then he's gonna turn good again because blah 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 is gonna happen. And it sounded like all of these story plots wound together with these characters. Do they still like really lean into that? Have you ever participated and been like planned out stories like, all right, hang on, we're gonna like do some crazy someone's dead twin who's actually their cousin but identical came back from the dead? Like, have you ever like joined in and done one of those twists of fate storylines?
Yes, absolutely. So it's not as crazy as that anymore. Like it used to be. Like you told the exact story of the Undertaker and Kane from back in like '97. That's exactly what happened. It's like Undertaker had this long lost brother, but it's not as far fetched anymore. It is more, with the internet and everything coming about, it has to be a lot more realistic now. It has to be more something that people can relate to. And I've been in
Interesting.
plenty of
Okay.
stories where one guy, made me mad for some reason and I came out and beat him up the next week. And then, after that, he got back up on me and it's like a back and forth. It's always the back and forth. But I always say that you can follow one person from the beginning of their career to now or the end of their career. And if they're already done, and you'll see like all kinds of progress. And if you pick one person, then you're guaranteed to get invested.
Oh, wow. That's fun. Or do you have any I don't know, spoilers? Do you have any future ones coming up? If you're not seeing the screen, we also have this on audio. We're pulling up some pictures here of you in the ring.
Yeah, that's 901 Wrestling at Black Lodge. I will be there June 1st, this upcoming Saturday. And the guy that I'm standing across from in that picture is the Trailer Park 10, Cody Murdoch, who this is our second time. That was our second time wrestling. This was this past Saturday. And he had asked for the match a second time because he lost the first time. He wanted a piece of the monster for the second time, and I think he bit off a little more than he could chew.
So do you still participate in these like story clash line things, or is it more like I'm just gonna go out and I'm gonna do my thing and
In all honesty, it depends on the type of event that you're on. So if you watch 901 Wrestling at Black Lodge, they constantly have a story. Like everything has a story. Like the heavyweight champion Bobby Ford just won the title from his best friend Andy Mack after he turned on Andy. And if you got to go back and watch, if you want to get into like local wrestling, you have to go back and watch Andy Mack and Bobby Ford, their whole saga. But yeah, there's always some kind of stories like that. But other places, if I'm there, for one match, it's just I go out there and do my thing and then I, come back. It just depends on the type of show it is.
When
So-
you, sorry.
no
Go
go.
When you started with wrestling, did you start off being the baby face or did you gravitate it right away to the heel?
I was a babyface when I started, and that's what they say when you start wrestling. It's always best to be the babyface for a long time, because they have to. The crowd has to get to know you before you can really spread your wings and do more creative things. Like I haven't always been the monster. I had to start off, so doing something else.
All right, so for those of us who don't know, what did that mean?
Sorry. Baby faces, good guys. Heel is bad guys.
Oh, okay.
So,
It's
Yeah.
like a
Yeah.
super villains.
Yep. The hero and the
Nice.
villain. Willow, you must be a wrestling fan.
I am a huge wrestling fan.
Yes.
Grew up with wrestling. I was born in '82, so I grew up in like probably the best time to be a wrestler fan. You got my makeup is kind of Scary Sherry
Oh yeah.
ish, so very glittery and lots of color.
I can see that. Looks awesome.
So thank you. And of course, because it's Lauren, I have to have like some kind of shimmer. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know what it is about wrestling. It was like the first thing that ever came on TV that was like superheroes.
I never thought of it that way. That's a really good comparison. And that's probably going to come back around because I have another question later, but that's probably going to come back up again. So I'm really glad you said that. Walker, how did you get into wrestling?
I just grew up watching it with my dad. We would sit in the living room on Monday nights and Friday nights and watch Raw and SmackDown. My earliest memory though was I had a VHS tape of Survivor Series 2001. It was like this big story of the WWF versus the Alliance, The Rock, Stone Cold, Undertaker, Kane, all those guys. And I watched it on repeat over and over and over again. And that's my earliest memory of it, but really just watching it with my dad. When I was a little kid, all the kids in school watched it. And the older I got, the less and less people watched it. And then finally I was one of the last few people that still, watched it going into high school and stuff. So I knew it had to be something that I had to at least pursue, once and just see if it was for me. And I haven't looked back since. So
That's awesome. We have a comment here from Eli. Says definitely was raised by the hashtag attitude era.
oh yeah, the Attitude Era.
I'm also from Winnipeg, so of course we have to cheer on Chris Jericho.
Oh yeah,
so.
Jericho. Oh yeah.
All right, so with wrestling and the outfits that you wear, and I spoke with DL before the show. This is all her questions, by the way. I'm going through her list, but she was very much like, ask about the leotards. 1 strap up, 2 straps up, no straps up. What is your favorite? Why do people do the different things with that? Is it just to like be different than the person that they're going up against, so they're easily identifiable? Is it a personal preference, like it's more comfortable? What is up with that?
So for me, I wear I can't speak on everybody else. Well, I can speak for some people who wear like the collegiate wrestling singlets because that's kind of their style. They are very catch and go type wrestling. But for me, when I wear mine, if you watch when I get fired up, when I start firing back up on the other guy, I take the straps down. and that's my way to get fired up, like Jerry Lawler did in the 70s and 80s. That was his thing. When Lawler took the straps down, you knew it was game over with.
Okay, so it's this is what I'm identifying it with. It's like whenever you're about to fight, like it's about to go down, you start taking out the earrings, the hair goes up in the ponytail. You're like,
yes,
it's on. Okay, so straps down is like it's on. That's amazing. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
All right, and this was the question that I wanted to. Oh, hang on, we have another photo up. What is this one from? I love that leather, like not jacket, non-sleeve jacket, whatever it is.
Yeah,
I like
the
it.
vest. I'm wearing it right now.
Vest.
Yeah, that was from another shot from Black Lodge. As you see the screen behind me, they show all of the wrestlers' names. They also play the wrestlers' entrance music as they're coming out to the ring. The crowd can identify with your graphic that comes up on the screen before you even walk out of the curtain. Like they know, like on mine, there's like a bunch of vintage like TVs before my name pops up, and they know when they see that and they hear the music that it's me, and that's another big marketability thing in wrestling is for people to be able to identify with that before they ever see you. Like Stone Cold Steve Austin, when you heard the glass break, that's when you knew that was his, that when he was about to come out to the ring.
Yep.
Okay. Is that so? I know that you said you do music stuff. The music that plays in the background, is that like something you wrote, or is it something you chose and you were just like, oh no, that's my character right there?
Well, funny story. I actually made a song before that was like a heavier metal song that I wrote and recorded. But then my friend, who is a local DJ / music producer named Cyber Optics, wrote my my new entrance music which is like 80s synthwave. So I make entrance music for other people, but I did not make my own.
I love that. I do that thing, just not this one.
It's not this one. No, it's like not being able
awesome.
to cut your own hair, I think.
Yeah. No. Yes, I completely get that. All right. So this is the question that Willow, you had just kind of mentioned something a second ago, but what is the crossover connection between wrestling and nerdum? Because as we've gone to more and more conventions, like when I first started hitting conventions, it was the regular, anime, Doctor Who, nerdity. The more I go now, the more and more I'm seeing wrestlers and like wrestling rings pop up in the middle of conventions, and they're doing this like fan crossover. What do you have to say about like that crossover and how that came about?
So I'll say this to start this off. I've always been a huge fan of the cosplay world and the convention world, like being able to dress up as your favorite superhero or your favorite character or whatever, and just go and have like a group of people to relate with. That has always been like a huge thing to me. I've always loved that. I would say the crossover between that and wrestling is some wrestlers have like very extravagant outfits, and they, it all goes into like wanting to be your favorite superhero. Some people want to be their favorite wrestler, so they take the time to build the costumes and things like that. To me, it's all kind of the same thing, just wrapped up in different bubble wrap, like being able to dress up as your favorite hero, your favorite wrestler, having wrestling as part of it, because wrestling fans are nerds too, and myself included. Like it's all one big, what did you call it? A nerdum?
A nerdum.
Nerdum. I've never heard that before, but I'm stealing that. In my opinion, it's all one big nerdum. We just haven't really like cross paths into each other's like line of sight until recently, which I think is awesome. I think having 901 Wrestling at BeyondCon was like really, really cool because it gave a different audience, room to see what we do and us to see what you guys do, which is awesome.
Yeah. I think a lot of that has to do with what you were saying a second ago about how wrestling is like, it was the first real superheroes, the real ones, on TV. I could see how those would mesh together from what Willow was talking about earlier. And I was like, oh, I never thought of it that way. What were you about to say?
I think it's been in the last 10 to 15 years or so, maybe a little bit longer, that even our conventions up here have been merging Comic-Con with wrestling. And we have, like up in Winnipeg, we have a huge wrestling, indie wrestling group. And like, I actually miss going to shows And but I mean, if you're ever in Winnipeg, please let me know so that I can
Yeah,
come
absolutely.
cheer you on. But we have a couple groups that one group in particular that brings in the wrestlers, and I've met several. My brain's blocking right now, but I'll
Sorry,
think of
I
the names
called her
soon.
in
But yeah,
so last minute for
no,
this
it's just
episode.
like because I'm a huge fan of wrestling. When one of the big names come in, I'm just like, oh my god.
Oh no, yeah. Well, my husband was out shopping the other day, and as he was shopping with our youngest, they're like, "Please, everyone, welcome Dwayne the Rock Johnson." And he was like, "Oh, that's a pretty cool ad." And he's walking down the aisle, and there goes the Rock, just walking down the dang
Wow.
aisle. And he was like, What?" So yeah, even when you're not in the fandom, when they're the big name celebrities like that, you stop and you're like, well, what did I just see? Holy crap.
Yeah, it's crazy. It's wild because you never think those people will be right there in front of you. You know,
Yeah,
you only see them through a TV screen. It's crazy.
Well,
it's
funny
fun.
because it used to be just like World of Wheels that would come up to Winnipeg with the wrestlers and some of the actors, but now it's like coming to Comic-Con, and you see Trish Stratus is coming to our Comic-Con in October, and I'm just like, holy crap, gotta plan for this.
Okay, so for wrestling and me, whenever I think about it, I think about like my childhood when my neighbors next to me were the biggest wrestling fans in the world. And the other thing they also introduced me to at the same time now, and I'm saying young, I mean child here, uh the Power Rangers. And so from when you were talking about how, oh, they were the first like superheroes that were like, you know, it wasn't a fake TV show where they were out there and they were actually doing it and all that. Now my brain has combined Power Rangers and wrestling together because that's just like what I associate it with. And now I just really want some person to come out and do the change with the Power Ranger, or even like Sailor Moon-esque change in the middle, like getting ready for their, and then they have that on there. They could have someone with like one of those quick change sheets pull up and then they have like one item on at a time. It would be so fun.
You
It'd
totally
be awesome.
need to watch the Hurricane do his thing.
Oh, the Hurricane, yes. Yes.
I will look up the Hurricane.
And you said Sailor Moon. Now that you've said it, I can't think. Kairi Sane, I think.
Mhm.
She used to dress up in the sailor outfit, and she did this hellacious elbow drop off the top rope. It was awesome.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
Yeah.
When it comes to outfits for, oh, here's a fun picture of you. What are you doing here?
That is my signature crossbody. I will run and I'll just kind of turn sideways and hit the guy as hard as I can with my entire body weight. I stole it from a famous wrestler who has since passed. I think he passed late last year. Bray Wyatt. Bray
So you're
Wyatt was
continuing the tradition.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
That's amazing.
Absolutely.
So we were talking about the outfits and all, and then you brought up the Sailor Moon. What is different when it comes to like men wrestling, women wrestling? Because one of the things I do see a lot when it pertains to wrestling is a lot of the women will get just slammed online for what they're wearing and how little they're wearing. But when you compare that to like what the men wrestlers are wearing, like it's about equal, at least in my opinion. So do you have anything like to say on that level when it comes to the difference between the outfits?
To me, it's just a double standard at the end of the day. Like I think women's wrestling in general is a lot newer of a thing than men's wrestling. So like in women's wrestling was like just started being taken seriously in like 2010 or 2011. Like it was mostly just a sideshow or like a part of the show when there were women there that were just working really, really hard to have an opportunity like the men were. But I think that people judge women more than men because they're just so used to seeing men wrestle all the time that like that's just what they're used to, but they just want to critique women for some reason. It's dumb. It's a double standard. You know, there are women out there who are 10 times the wrestlers that some of the men are, and they don't get a fair opportunity because of whatever it may be, double standards. But that's just my opinion on it.
I love
TLDR,
that.
double standards.
All right. So do we have any more wrestling questions? Because if not, I'm moving on.
Yes.
Okay, go.
Your exercise regime. Tell us about it. Like how much do you exercise to keep your body fit for going in the ring?
For like torpedoing people in the face with your elbow.
Yeah. It's mostly what I do is like cardio. I will say that I've had some injuries that have kept me out of the gym for a little bit.
Oh wow.
But yeah, it's mostly right now cardio and some light, exercises until I can get completely back. I still wrestle, but I'm just trying to get back in rehabilitated before I start lifting heavy things again. But really, I like doing in-ring training more than anything, rolling and, hitting the ropes a lot because, wrestling cardio is a lot different than, any other kind of cardio out there. You're being slammed down on a hard surface and having to get back up and run and all kinds of things. So I try to stay in pretty good condition for that the best I can.
And so, sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
When you guys are planning your moves, like, is it do you guys plan this all day before showtime, or is this like an all week thing?
Sometimes we don't know what's going to happen until the music is playing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Sometimes you have to go on feel. And that's something you learn when you're training to wrestle is like how to go on feel and how to react with the crowd and to move with body language and things like that. But not to quote unquote pull back the curtain too much, but if on a good day, we like to start, putting things together about an hour before the show starts.
Okay.
Wow.
But
so lots of
sometimes
improv.
lots of improv. And most of the time, like it's not even things for the match itself. It's mostly like small nuance things, like how's the crowd going to react to this? If they react this way, then what do we do then? And most of that stuff is live on feel, because the best way I can explain it is it's like a live acrobatic show with no rehearsal, whatsoever. So you have to really just go on based on what the crowd is feeling.
Okay, so from what I'm getting from all of this, to be a wrestler, you need to be good at improv. You need to be able to have like stuntman reflexes just to get clobbered with stuff and the floor and things. You've got to have stage presence. You've got to have the passion for it. This seems like a whole bunch of different things like smushed into one, and then like hand people a platter, just be like, good luck. That seems really difficult.
It's not like high school theater at all.
No. I've been in high school theater and I've been in a ring there. Two completely different things.
Two different monsters. I was the high school theater one, and we did lots of rehearsal. If something happened on that stage that was not rehearsed, the director was not happy.
The director laid the hammer down. I'll tell you what, every time. Like, what do you mean you forgot the line? And then we went over this line like 80,000 times. Like, oh, sorry.
How do you improv Shakespeare?
100%.
Oh, all right. So I know that you are also super into horror, and it's kind of where you got a bit of the character for your wrestling. Wait, you know what? Before we move on to the wrestling, how does your character act? What do they talk like? I want like a little snippet of your character if you can jump in real quick.
So I would say the difference between me right now and my character is when I really get into character, it's very slow and methodical, and there's a little bit of there's a certain thing with everything that I say that I pause. And you're hanging on until the next word happens. And you never know what's going to happen next.
Ooh,
because
it's like
every time that you see
Christopher
Walker XIII, I
Sorry, I broke it.
You broke it. No, that's awesome. But like essentially, when Walker 13 steps into the ring, you never know what's going to happen next. And each and every person who steps in the ring with me comes out knowing that monsters are real. And that's it.
I like
Nice.
that. That's always the Scooby-Doo like scary thing. Monsters are real. It's just the people.
Yep, it's just the people. You could, you see them at the grocery store every day. You walk past them on the street, and you never know who could be a monster behind closed doors.
It's
Yep.
terrifying.
Terrifying. It's awful.
Especially when you find out later and you're like,
It's like, oh no, I used to be friends with that guy.
Yep.
yeah. Had quite a those. All right. So were there any specific inspirations for your character that you pulled from horror movies?
Oh yeah, a lot. So mostly the initial character when I started, I wore a mask. It was the Revenant. I stole bits and pieces from Michael Myers, the original Frankenstein's monster, and
Ooh, nice.
but the more the character progresses, I'm dipping more into like a Patrick Bateman, with a little bit of Captain Spaulding, a little bit of Art the Clown in my mannerisms, but I still try to keep the stature of the Michael Myers. That's really the Michael Myers is the baseline of it for the most part.
Michael, it's such a specific, like that intimidating presence, that large, almost in shadow, because it was always like very like the lighting that you have going on here, this blue lighting with the old school movies. It was always that like shadowy kind of feel to it, and the stillness, and then like the slow movement walking. Oh, it's like now I'm sitting here going like, huh, thinking of that. How tall are you? Just wondering.
6'4".
Okay,
Oh, wow.
see, yeah, like next to me, you would look giant. I'm 5 foot tall, so I'd just be here like, hi.
Did I not say hello to you at BeyondCon? Were you there?
Was I? Yes, I was probably. Beyond Con.
That was the
Which
one
one
in
was that?
Cordova. That's where I met DL. Was at
Yes, I
BeyondCon.
think we saw each other there.
Okay.
Yes, I was there. I had to think about it for a minute. Yeah, I was there. I was there for a bit. My daughter won first in the kids cosplay.
Oh, wow.
If you
Okay. Yeah,
remember.
that's right. Yeah.
Okay.
That's right.
Yes, I was. I'm sorry. I've been to so many conventions this year that someone
Hey.
names one and I'm like, and which one was that one?
Which one was that? No, that's awesome. That's great. Getting out there. I blame when I forget things. I blame it on being hit in the head too much.
Oh, you almost
Like-
just made me spew.
My bad.
Yep.
But yeah, I'm sorry that I didn't get to talk to you any longer than I did. But yeah, I had a lot of fun there.
That's fine. I was running around chasing a 6-year-old trying to like organize and get her into the costume competition. You're fine. The amount of people who wanted a photo with her, and I was just like stuck at the photo booth because everyone was like, will you bite me? Bite me, because she was a vampire and they all wanted her like jumping on them, attacking them photos.
That's awesome.
That's when you invest in a leash for your child. It's like,
Yeah. Get back over
Well,
here.
she gets really into character, and we had a custom set of fangs that we had made for her. She was Abigail from the new vampire movie with the ballerina vampire, and the amount of people who were just amazed at her cosplay. Like we had some of the guests came over. Scott Innes, the voice of Scooby-Doo and Shaggy, came over and he was like, I need her to bite. I need a photo of this. And we were like, okay. But yeah, no, I was there.
You were there.
I was there. Do you have any conventions coming up? Any appearances people can look for you at?
Mainly just wrestling events.
Okay.
I've got 901 Wrestling at Black Lodge Saturday, June 1st. Saturday, June 8th, I am actually running my own show in Hernando, Mississippi. at Commerce Street Market. It's called Summer Showdown.
Awesome. Okay. Well, whenever this ends, find the links to those and shove them in the comments so people who watch this later can check them out. And you have not missed everything. Sorry. Huff Photo is over here being like, I missed everything. We still have half a show.
Yeah, you're good.
I'm just hopping around like a doofus. I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know what I'm doing.
Hey, fake it till you make it. Duct tape and zip ties. I'm telling you. That's how I live my life.
Speaking of cosplay, your outfits for your character, do you get them made at all, or do you have a specific place that you buy your stuff from?
Personal seamstress?
Or are you looking for a seamstress?
Actually, yes. As a matter of fact, I would love to get some a new outfit made. It's a mixture of like DIY and I go through Killa Custom Rockware. She makes outfits for like a lot of bands as well as wrestlers. She makes a lot of wrestler stuff too. But I did a Terrifier inspired gear set that I made myself. Well, I didn't make it myself. I bought the jeans from Amazon and the jacket from Hot Topic, and I bloodied it up and decayed it and used a I don't remember what I used, but I painted it up and put custom logos on it and stuff and made it my own to look like Art the Clown. That I did a Michael Myers inspired outfit that I made myself, but most of the cosplay gear that I do is stuff that I just put together myself, but the actual wrestling gear that I wear all the time, I order from other places.
Okay.
When it comes to the horror movie characters, are there any specific ones you're wanting to do later, whether it's wrestling or cosplay? Are there any ones that you're like, that is on my list? I'm gonna do that one day.
Yes. Number one at the top of my list right now is Captain Spaulding.
That's amazing. I want to do Mama Firefly so bad one day. I need a big wig, and she wears barely anything. She wears a white nightie through I don't even care. I want the big wavy wig and the white nightie. And
Yes, I love. So, are you talking about House of a Thousand Corpses, Mama Firefly, or Devil's Rejects, Mama Firefly?
Oh, I would have to look it back up again. I'm gonna say Devil's Rejects, if I'm remembering correctly.
Yeah, I mean, because the only reason I ask is because I know they had two different actresses play Mama Firefly in each of those movies, but they're both iconic. For different reasons, they're both awesome. I love both of those.
They are.
Yeah. That's awesome. When you do that, let me know. I can't wait to see it. That's awesome.
We should group.
Yes. Yes. We just need an Otis Driftwood. Somebody to do Otis Driftwood.
We need that, and we need the crazy one. What's her name?
Baby.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh God, that's the easiest name in the world. Don't put Baby in the corner. Couldn't think of it. So are anyone else on your list that you're like, oh, I'd love to do this at some point in time, or is that just your one that you really want?
It's number one for sure. I'd also like to do now these are just wrestling gear inspired by these characters.
Yeah.
But the Nintendo Jason from the Friday the 13th game, with the purple and light blue.
Okay.
I would love to do that. What was the other one that I had? I had an inspired t-shirt design from that. I don't know, really just those two, the Captain Spaulding and then Jason. Those are the only two I can think of off the top of my head.
So when it comes to horror franchises and horror movies, moving away from the wrestling, just into general horror, what are your favorite franchises? What's your favorite go-to comfort movies?
Okay. Any of the Rob Zombie movies.
That's a good one. The good ones.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I love all of those. Even the Halloween movies, I love those. The original Halloween movies. I would say number one, and this is going to sound terrible for comfort movies, but the Terrifier movies.
I have friends who say the exact same thing. I've yet to watch those because I keep trying to plan for them to come over and we can have a movie marathon night where we eat things that look like blood and guts. I want.
Yes. Yes. Yeah, I love it. The Terrifier. They just dropped the trailer for the third one that's coming out around Christmas.
Ooh.
It's gonna
So
be
I need to
Christmas
catch
themed.
up.
Yeah, they're all or both of them so far have been awesome. I love those.
I hear the first one isn't as bloody as the second, and the second
No.
one is like, don't drink too much before watching it. And I'm just like, you don't know me. I'll be fine.
I'll be fine.
With the popcorn and the pop.
Eating
Merely a
spaghetti
first
with
wound.
meatballs.
Yeah,
So
it's gory.
I hear, yeah. So what was your first horror experience? Like, what was your first horror movie? And then also, flip side, what was the first horror movie that scared the absolute shit out of you?
So both of those are the same one. Child's Play. I was 6 years old and I saw Child's Play for the first time, and it scared the dog crap out of me. Like, it scared me so bad, and it scared me so bad to the point to where my dad took me to the mall, and we walked into Spencer's and they had the Chucky dolls up, and I turned around and ran out. I ran out of the store. I was like 6 or 7 years old. There's no way. There's no way I could do this. But of course, I got older and now I love
that
it.
my parents are the terrible parents that helped me watch horror movies too. So
Yeah.
We were just watching interviews with the Abigail actors, and one of the questions that they got asked was, what was the first movie that scared the heck out of you? And I was watching this with my 6-year-old because she loves the movie, and one of the actors said Child's Play, and my daughter got so personally offended by this answer. My 6-year-old went and she got her little Chucky and Tiffany baby dolls and her little Chucky keychain, and she was like, Child's Play? Chucky? Like shoving it in my face.
She was offended.
She was so offended. If you didn't know, she's gonna marry Chucky. Okay. So says she.
That's awesome.
Oh wow.
Oh, we have a question in the comments here. William Brian Huff says, who's your favorite person to face off against in the ring? That's a good question.
That's a great question. I'd have to say Andy Mack, the star of the show. Andy Mack. He's also he wrestles at 901. He just unfortunately lost the 901 Wrestling Heavyweight Championship, but I've wrestled him. I think this match that we're about to have in 2 weeks is the 7th time we will have wrestled, and he is my favorite person to wrestle every time.
Is it just because he's like,
he's so small I can just throw him around? It's the best. It's the best.
That sounds fun.
No, he's I would say, as far as like comparisons to, the Attitude Era, and Willow, you'll get this one. He is the Shawn Michaels to my Undertaker.
Okay.
We are complete opposites. We are like, he is the star of the show, bright colors. I'm the monster. I'm all darkness and all that kind of stuff. So when we get in the ring together, it's always a good time, a good clash of styles. So yeah, he's by far my favorite.
That's awesome. We actually had another question pop in here. That was a good one. Joey, can you pull that up? Is there anyone you want to rematch against, or that you have a particular beef with? Where's the beef?
Where's the beef? You know what? I do have a beef, and this is another one of my favorite people to wrestle. But there's a guy from Chattanooga, Tennessee. His name is Chris Crunk. We've wrestled 5 times, and I've lost every time. I'm 0-5 against Chris Crunk, and I need to get that win back.
Just one.
So Chris Crunk, if you're watching this,
yeah.
No Goldberg. You're next.
Rematch.
Yeah, he's gonna kick your gluteus maximus.
Dang right.
All right. So I know that you are a member of the Beale Street Monster Club. What is that?
It is it's a group that they meet to watch classic horror films.
I want to be a member of that.
Yeah, hit them up. They were great people. I chatted with them at BeyondCon. That's where I actually met them. I haven't had the chance to go to a meeting yet, but I definitely want to soon. They kind of explained to me what their whole thing was about. They're very smart as far as like the history of like the classic movies, like the Universal horror movies and all that kind of stuff goes. They're very knowledgeable on that, and I love that because I'm a history buff when it comes to that kind of stuff. I'd like to know more about it. So I'm definitely gonna have to check out one of their meetings sometime soon.
If you were a horror movie host, what would be the first movie that you would like host to?
Ooh,
Are you going to go like mainstream or are you going to go like really out there?
that's what I'm thinking. I don't. I'm it's a toss up between the two. Uh, the first movie that I would like show people as like a okay. I'm gonna go with 13 Ghosts.
It's such a good
That's a
one.
good one.
Such a good movie. It is
The
very
remake
underrated.
or the original?
Ooh.
There's a remake and an original. I'm
Yeah,
talking
the
about
one
the
from
one.
like from the 90s, that's a remake.
No way. I
Yeah, the
didn't know
original
that.
is so hokey. It's got like, you know, Halloween skeletons and stuff. It's old school. I can't even, I'm gonna have to Google the year of that. But yeah, most people don't know 13 Ghosts. It's a remake.
Okay, the remake then. The remake for sure. I need to watch the old
It's
one. I didn't know that was a remake.
I hear it's terrible. I've not 13 Ghosts original. Just watch me very
Uh,
professionally
I don't
Googling
know, but
something.
the original House on Haunted Hill is probably really hokey. It just is
Yeah.
hokey.
So 1960 was the original for 13
Oh my
Ghosts.
goodness.
And it's, I hear, not great, but it
Oh, I'm
was
gonna have to watch that.
inspiring enough for them to come out with the masterpiece that they did.
Mhm. Like the cuts in between when he's like when you could see the markings and stuff, when you could see the ghosts, like the transitions in between everything for it being the 90s or whenever it was made, it was like mind blowing for what they could do during that time.
It was really good. And also I hear the rumor mill, that they're going to make a TV show, 13 Ghosts of the Ghosts and their backstories, which
Ooh.
people have been begging for years now.
Yeah,
And we
that
have
would be
Tony
awesome.
Shalhoub is the man. Sorry,
He is the
comments
man.
popping up.
He was in
Yeah.
Monk. Monk was an awesome show. I love that show.
Monk was amazing. Yes. And it was really fun to see him not Monk because my mom was obsessed with the Monk series and that's all I ever knew of him. So to see him in this very different character, um it was fun. I don't know. That's one of my favorite movies. That's a great choice.
Oh
Willow,
yeah,
how about
it's
you? I'm
awesome.
just going to throw it at you now. If you were a horror movie hostess, what would your movie be?
You know what? Plan 9 from outer space, because I have to throw it out to the really cheesy horror movies. That is
I
one of
Oh
the
yeah.
probably one of the worst horror movies out there, but it's fun to watch to make fun of it.
I would have to say Cube, which most people don't remember that, but like when I went to Blockbuster and I got to pick out my one movie to take home, every dang time I wanted to rent Cube. It was one of my favorite horror movies when I was younger, and it is so underrated. It was a good one.
I'm gonna have to watch that. I haven't seen that either. I don't think I've even heard of that one.
It's okay. So I'm going to give you a short little like, here is the story of Cube. These people wake up in a room, and the room is a square, and all of the squares have a door in the middle of it, top and bottom. And they don't know why they're there. Come to find out, this cube that they're in that has like traps in each floor or each room, and they have to try and find the safe way to get out of this big giant maze. And when I say traps, I mean slice them, dice them, burn them into pieces. Traps.
Wow.
Ooh, okay.
It's like Saw before Saw was a thing.
Oh, okay. I love me some Saw movies, so that's perfect. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
All right. We only have 10 minutes in. Okay. You are a haunt actor. Where are you a
Yes.
haunt actor? What do you haunt? What do you do? Who are you?
I work I work at Wicked Ways Haunted House in Memphis. Excellent team there, a lot of great people. I am a little bit of everywhere. Um, they, wherever I'm needed is where I am. And you can guarantee if you come through and I'm in there, I'm going to scare the crap out of you because I love freaking people out.
Is there a favorite character that you do?
I've got one called that I call Bubba. He is the man who lives in the farmhouse, and he tortures all the souls that come through.
Nice.
Because he himself is a tortured soul.
Please tell me you wear overalls.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
That's
Absolutely.
awesome.
That is amazing.
Yeah, it's a great haunted house. It's on Cumberland Street. Do you know where I think that's Wiseacre right there. Wiseacre Brewing Company. Right there by where Rec Room used to be.
Mm-hmm.
You go down past Rec Room on Broad and you come up to Cumberland. I think that's Wiseacre there. You turn left and all the way back at the end of that road is where the haunted house is. It's a great place.
Might have been to this one before. I don't know. There's a couple different haunted houses around the area, and I think I've been to a few of them, but knowing which ones and when, they're only open like once a year. So
yeah, you can only go so many times, to so many different ones. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do they do any out of the year, like any Christmas haunts or Valentine's haunts? Do they do anything like that?
No, not that I know of. Not as of right now. No.
You should tell them that they should and take credit for the idea and be like, I'm a genius.
Hey,
come on, we need something more than Nosberry Farm.
Yeah. Hey, nothing's out of the question. That's what I always say. I always say never, but then again, I don't really know. I just work there, but I would love to see that myself personally.
That would be fun. Like the Krampus haunt, the Angel of Love haunt, where couples go in and then, the guy ends up running off and leaving the girl, and the girl's like, what do I do? And ends up holding hands with the haunted guy, and then they go walking up.
And then she realizes that that's who she was meant to be with all along, with the scary guy.
That's right. It's a love story.
It's a love story. Yep.
Okay, now someone needs to make that into a movie.
Yeah, it was a better love story than Twilight.
100%.
Someone had to say it.
Oh, at least the guy's not sparkling. You know what? I'm not even going to whine about the sparkling. The sparkling didn't bother me because in the books, they made it make sense enough to where they were supposed to look like marble-esque statues. Now, I'm not saying the books are great or anything, but I'm just saying the idea of them looking like frozen in time marble, I could kind of get behind. Also, they weren't originally supposed to even be vampires. They were supposed to be like blood drinking fae. And then she was like, well, no one knows about those kind of fae. So she just changed them into vampires. So that also makes the sparkling make a little more sense. But still, they overdid it in the movie.
Oh, yeah. They absolutely overdid it in the movies, for sure. For sure.
All right. How long have you been haunt acting?
This past year was my first year. 2023 was my first year.
Was it fun? Like, what was your favorite part?
It was so much fun. My favorite part was honestly all of the friends that I made from it. I made a lot of friends that some of them I still talk to like now since then that I didn't know before. Honestly, like meeting people and stepping into a different form of entertainment and learning how they do things. My favorite feeling in the world is walking in somewhere and being brand new and just learning as I go, because I'm a wrestler, but like I've never worked at a haunted house before, so it's like now I'm coming into their world. So
all right, we have a question down here. What's your favorite scare tactic?
100% walking really, really close to people as they're walking. Like getting like this close to people and like just kind of like growling at them or talking to them, knowing that they're like about to like pee their pants, and it just not relenting until they get out of my section. It's my favorite thing to do. Like I mean, I can jump out and be aggressive, but my favorite thing is just brooding, just standing over them.
That's creepy. Like the people up behind you. I'm not a fan of jump scares, just from fun trauma of my life. And I'm not a big jump scare person, but I will have to say the creepy walking to me is actually creepier than the jump scares.
Yeah. Yep. Especially when somebody's like so big. I mean, I'm not putting myself over to them, but somebody like when I was a kid, the big people scared the crap out of me. Like the shorter people, it was like, okay, whatever. But like they're Terry. So my friend Terry, he also works there. He is 6'8". Um he um he scared somebody so bad that they literally peed themselves one night. Like
Oh.
it was bad. And he doesn't say anything. Like he doesn't yell or anything. He just stands there. And that's enough, you know. That's enough. We call him Scary Terry. Even like in the, we're getting ready to go. Like even in
Nice.
the back, he's Scary Terry. It was awesome.
All right, so we only have 4 minutes left. I did have one more topic I wanted to bring up,
Okay.
and that was you do music, you play
Yeah.
instruments, you do music mixing. Tell us a little bit about that. What style of music? What do you play? What you do? Where can we find it?
Yeah, so right now I mostly make entrance music for other wrestlers. I play guitar myself. I'm actually working on my own projects at the moment. My friend and I are working on some really cool stuff. It's going to be a little bit before it drops. We actually practiced today a little bit, but mostly just entrance music for other wrestlers. I do a lot of different genres, but I'm a metalhead at heart, so most of my stuff is really heavy rock, metal type stuff. So,
Nice. All right. We have wow, it's still 4 minutes. I expected that question to go longer.
my bad.
No, you're good. You're good. Where, if someone wanted to look up and hear some of your stuff, like what are some wrestlers that you did the intro to so they can check it out?
I'll be under HK97 Music on Apple Music and Spotify and all major streaming platforms. I some well-known wrestlers I've made music for. I made a song for Booker T when he came to Memphis.
Oh wow.
Um, I've made
That's cool.
songs for a lot of like pretty well-known local guys like Ken Dang. He wrestles for 901 Wrestling as well. I made a song for him. Yeah, I made music. I've been fortunate enough to make music for a lot of different people. Excuse me. But yeah, it's under HK97 Music on Spotify and Apple Music and wherever you find your music.
Awesome. And if people wanted to find just you in general, if they want to stalk you, where
The
do they
Walker
go to
Stalkers
stalk
out there.
you? The Walker Stalker?
The Walker Stalkers. Yep. It is at the Walker XIII on everything. Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, X, formerly Twitter. Excuse me, I'm sorry. I'm like dying over here.
Stop that.
But yeah, I'll do my best. The Walker 13, but 13 is in Roman numerals on everything.
Okay. Willow, did you have any more questions? We got 2 minutes.
Not that I can think of, but there is one in the chat.
Oh, okay. What would you bring it back?
Sorry.
Bring it back. What would you tell a kid that you were looking to become a wrestler or that was looking to become a wrestler one day? What is something you've learned that you wish you would have known? That's a great question.
I would tell somebody wanting to start wrestling to find a good school and find a group of people that are going to really take care of you. That's what I would say is because when I started, I was all over the place. I didn't really go to the greatest school. I mean, I was trained well, but it took a village for me. But there are a lot of really good wrestling schools out there that you could start at. And as far as like something that I wish I would have known is that you don't have to rush it. It all comes with time. Like if I'm 7 years in, going on 8, and I'm still learning something every time I go out there to wrestle. Take your time. Learn the fundamentals and get good at what you're good at first, and then use that as building blocks. You don't have to rush in and go all out at one time. It's okay to fail. Just get back up is what I would say.
I'm sure some wrestlers have probably made a career out of like failing. Like they're the ones that are always beaten. I'm sure people have probably like that's just what they're known for. And I'm sure they play into it too. Like I would be out there and be like, I'm so frail.
Oh no, I hope he doesn't hit me.
And then, oh no, that's going into kinky. Please, sir, may I have some more? All right. Anyway. We are at the top of the hour. That means that we are done. That's everything. I don't know how to close out the show. DL always does that. She does this like, all right, so she's so sexy in everything that she does, and I don't know how she does it, because I'm over here like, I am a goblin, and she's all like, and like I don't know how to explain what she does at the end of the show, but I'm going to attempt this with a serious face. So
You got this. You got this.
okay, hang on. With that being said, pleasant screams.